Hey there everybody, Mark Crilly. I'm back here with another how to draw video. I've had a lot of requests to do a video on how to draw hands, and it's no wonder because drawing hands can be incredibly difficult. So what I've got here is 3 different versions of Miki, the main character from my manga series Miki Falls. I've drawn everything except the hands, and so what we're going to do in this video is draw those hands in, hopefully all in real time, and see what we can learn from it. So let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to start by doing one where you don't have to see too much of the fingers because, let's face it, doing the fingers is one of the hardest things, and so I'm going to try to start with easier things. In fact, I'm probably going to have to do a number of videos, I think, to really cover lots of different ways of drawing hands. So you get down to the end of the wrist here for this particular position, and you start going off at a slight angle. Okay? A lot about drawing has to do with angles of lines and figuring out where those lines go. So this is, I don't know exactly how to describe this angle, but you can see what I'm doing. The length of this line is another one. You don't want to keep going because you're going to get too far past where the knuckles would be. So in any case, at this point, toward the end, is a line coming straight down. And I'm just going to kind of indicate lightly over here. This is the sort of bottom of the palm here coming off. I'm going to indicate lightly a bit of a box shape. Now notice the angle of this line down here, pretty important. It's not completely horizontal, it's just starting to go ever so slightly vertical. And the distance of this line and this line pretty close to one another, shorter lines here. Now this is where we're going to start to draw the fingers. It's kind of a clenched fist, and what you have is, this is a very vertical line here. This starts to sort of tilt back a little, and the lines begin to kind of fan out. See how this one is tilting a little more, and this one tilting just a little bit more. You see this a lot in drawings of fists and different things. The lines tend to fan out a little, and it creates this sort of elegant look, I think, somehow. Now I'm going in and putting the knuckles. But you can hear the train passing by. How's that for reality TV here? In any case, you go ahead and put the knuckles in here. And then back here is where the pinky is kind of getting folded in. I don't put in too much detail there, but it can be nice to just tuck it in there. And then there you go. You get this sort of feeling of the clenched fist. Notice that these lines have a certain gap from that first line that you drew there. Well, let's move on to the next pair of hands and see how that goes. Okay, these hands here, Miki's supposed to be shouting with her hands cupped around her mouth, and these are going to take a bit more time. I think what I'll do is sort of time-lapse through some of the rough work and then come back and do real-time for the details. Alright, so I kind of got the lines in place here, and maybe I can talk a little more about this as I go and finish this up. You're going to get a lot of vertical lines here as you draw these two hands, kind of from the side. That's why they look so thin. They're kind of a little bit of foreshortening going on here. I have another video about how to draw the hand, and some of this information is in that. But notice how the pinky, everybody knows, is the shortest finger, but it's really quite drastically shorter than the next finger. So make sure you preserve that, or get that into your drawing of a hand. Anytime you're drawing the pinky and the rest of the fingers next to each other, this finger here, the middle finger, is the very longest. These other fingers slightly shorter, and then the pinky quite drastically the shortest of all. I put in a guideline here to know where to stop drawing these lines. You want to make sure that they all sort of line up, the lines of the fingers. I think I may give them just a little extra length here, now that I look at it, though. And let's get this one going as well. I could spend this whole video just on these pairs of hands, so I'm going to have to probably move it along. Somebody said that now that I did become a partner the other day, somebody said that partners can do longer videos, longer than 10 minutes. I wasn't absolutely sure of that, so to hedge my bets, I'm going to try to keep this. So again, notice this. We got the length of the fingers as your major issue here, making sure that the pinky, and this pinky is sort of curving in front just a little maybe, considerably shorter than the other ones. And sometimes artists will actually draw a line in here where the fingers come to a stop. You want to get a little bit of a line here to define where the thumb is coming out, and then sometimes it's helpful to get just a bit of an extra line here to kind of define the edge of the hand, so you don't have just a really blank area there. And that's about it for these ones. Let's move on to the last one. Hopefully we can get all of them in. Okay, here we have one that's sort of a clenched fist, kind of a semi-clenched fist, in which the fingers are opening up just a little. So again, the angles of the lines are going to be very important. Here I'm kind of putting a curved line for where the fingers are going to end, coming to the knuckles. That's actually, that line will eventually just be a guideline that breaks into the knuckles. Again, following the angles or keeping a sense of the proper angles. This is almost like a 90-degree angle here, maybe a little larger than that. And then we come back and we have that kind of fanning thing that I talked about before, where the fingers, each one of them may be coming down just a little bit more, so they're sort of fanning out a little. That's a really great trick for making a hand look graceful. These are, of course, we're doing girls' hands, trying to make them sort of elegant, feminine looking, and that's why we're going for that. I may do another video that's more of like the guy's hands, or maybe like fist fighting kind of hands, and you'll see that we don't necessarily try to make them look so elegant in those situations. Anyway, notice how that initial line gave me some sort of a sense of where the knuckles would come in, and now I'm sort of breaking it into these individual curved lines. You don't want these lines to all keep going and going. You have them stop, and the pinky here being a shorter finger, that line's going to be the shortest of all. And then here I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in here. I think I need to sort of redraw this first line back just a little here to account for the bending of the pinky. And there we have it. Maybe her wrist is looking a little thick to me, but hopefully we've got the basics of what we need there. Let me go ahead and pull back so you can see the bigger picture of what we've done here today, and see if I can have some closing remarks. All right, there you have it, 3 different drawings in which the hands play an important role in showing what she's doing or conveying some of the emotion. That's about all the time I'm going to have for today. Always like to thank everyone who's picked up my manga series, Miki Falls. I've heard from a lot of you this week, and I really appreciate you letting me know what you thought. Big welcome to all my new subscribers that I got. It was a very big week for me here on YouTube last week, and I really appreciate so many of you subscribing. That's all the time I have for today. Feel free to give me suggestions on what kind of vids you want to see, and we'll be back with another one real soon.